Now today we're going to add some lighting to the drawbar box on the camper, and we're also going to look at our 300 amps of lithium battery power. If we use this off-grid, how do we charge it? So stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Daryl. Welcome to the channel. That's right, we're back onto the Gullwing storage box of the camper, and I've put it in the back burner up until now because I've trying to decide what exactly I'm doing with it. You could jump in and just bolt everything inside it to the floor, and then at a later date you may regret that. The cladding on this is aluminium, and I'm a bit concerned about bolting through it and the loads that it's going to generate when we've got a full fridge and the like. So what I'm going to do is make a frame up that bolts to the actual frame of this box, and all our loads will go through the frame of the box. So we shouldn't get any possible cracking, because sometimes these boxes do crack when you see them on the backs of utes. And I think that's why, because they're using the floor as a structural member. I'm still going through what I'm going to make these frames out of. It'll probably be an aluminium of some description. There's a few different profiles and ways we can do it, and at the moment I'm just going through costs and where I can source these from. At the moment it's a little bit hard to get materials too. So anyway, that's not for today, but that's where we're going with this. I've got a little bit of direction now with it. Today though, we're going to look at putting some lighting on this, but firstly we're going to look at our solar charging on our battery pack. We've got 300 amps of lithium batteries in this. We've got three 100 amp batteries in parallel. When we're not looking at running the aircon, 300 amps is more than enough. We've got a 250 watt solar panel. The drama that we've got is that we start cranking down on these batteries. Apart from connecting it to the Jeep and having the Jeep charge it while we're stationary, the 250 watt panel isn't going to cope with it. When we had a 100 amp battery, just a single, the 250 watt panel was more than enough, but we weren't trying to do the stuff that we're doing now, running inverters, running, induction hot plates, and running air conditioning and heating off-grid. The problem with solar though, no matter how much you have, is that if there's cloud cover, it doesn't work that well. And I've gone through that with the solar on our house. We've got a 10 kilowatts of solar on the roof. On a good non-cloudy day, we get a really nice graph from sun up to sundown. And I've seen 68 kilowatts on a good day. Conversely, on a cloudy, rainy day, overcast day, I've seen 12. You can see the differences on a large household system, and it's exactly the same with these campers. If it's cloudy and overcast, you're not going to get good responses out of them. However, the saving grace for us is because every 3 or 4 days we tend to pull into a caravan park. We can connect to shore power, charge the batteries up, and we're right to go again. We're okay for a weekend, so 1 or 2 nights, the way we are. There's enough capacity in this to do most of what we want to do. We only run the heating or the air conditioning when we go to bed, and we'll probably only run it and set a timer for an hour or 2. So we're fine for, 3 nights, maybe 4 nights, if we start to manage our power consumption well. I would like to get more solar in it. So at the moment we've got a 250 watt panel. I did have a company reach out to me with regards to their lightweight panels, which were really top end and looked lovely. My problem was, where did I mount them? They were spruiking them as something that you can bolt on the camper, and when you get to your camping spot, take them off and use like a solar blanket. The issue that I had was the finished sizes they had of these panels really didn't work with my camper. So unfortunately that sort of went by the wayside. So how are we going to expand this? Well, as I mentioned, solar blankets. I'm thinking that we get a couple of 250 or 300 watt solar blankets. They're reasonably cheap. I've watched a lot of videos on them, and whether you buy top end or bottom end, it seems to be luck of the draw with quality. But I haven't gone down that track yet, and there was a little bit too much choice, so it was like, I'll just put that to the side and we'll just look at our connections at the moment. With the Redarc Red Vision, I can put in 40 amps, which is about 750 watts. If I wanted to go further than that, I can run a separate BC-DC. I've got a Redarc 1225 here, and I could run that in parallel with the Manager 30 system. So it's all expandable, but it's how far you want to go. For me, I think 750 watts or 800 watts of solar power would be sufficient. You can jam more power than what the Manager 30 can output into it. You just won't get any more output than 40 amps. So it's a fairly fail-safe system and works quite well. Now, connecting all this up is really easy. We've already got our food from our rooftop solar panel that comes into the Gullwing storage box. We've already got our input, solar input for the Manager 30 on the back wall of the storage box. And all we need to do is plug in this patch cable. And we've basically got 2 positives and 2 negatives that go into one plug. That'll go into the input on the back wall that goes to the Manager 30. That then splits into 2. One of these will connect up to the feed from the rooftop solar panels, and the other one will connect up to this. And this goes outside the box, splits into 2 to another 2 Anderson plugs, and is bolted underneath this Gullwing storage box. So when we're using 1 or 2 solar blankets, we can just connect these up without actually opening up the storage box. Some smarts though, I'm really paranoid about drilling holes in this storage box with water ingress. So when I've run the cable through, I've got a grommet through there with a bit of silicone around it. I've also found a cover that's stainless steel that fits in 2 Anderson plugs. I'll put the link down below. Really nice little cover, and it finishes all up really nicely, and it protects everything from rocks and the like. So that was a really good thing. Now, with lighting for this drawbar box, I didn't want to go over the top at this point of time. I probably will add an external light on it that shines down at the drawbar, so if we're hitching up at night, it makes it a lot easier. However, at this point of time, I just wanted interior lighting, and I wanted to be able to open up the Gullwing doors and have a light that shines down onto a working area. So I've purchased these. They're a caravan light. They shine a white light or an amber light, and they mount at an angle. And I've mounted this one up already. You can see the light will shine down. So that's not a bad thing. I just didn't want it in my eyes. So the cheap LED strips that you tend to use when these things are on pickups or utilities, because those doors are a lot higher, you can get away with it. With this, I can't. So that was a requirement. Now, with wiring this up, all we have to do, run the cabling to the Red Vision unit. We've got 5 10 amp outputs. We're going to use one of those. We've connected that to F0, and we've got a positive and a negative terminal. We've just connected those to those. These push in. And then all we have to do is configure the Red Vision switches. So to configure the Red Vision, if we go into the system, now once we're in, let's go to distribution box. Let's go to channels, and let's call that Gullwing door lights. We can pick an icon that'll display on our app and the screen. Now, the logic configuration will turn on, and we'll turn it on as user control, and we'll save that. And you can see it's come up here. Now if we go back and back, we can go to display, we can go to the soft screens, and we can see it's come up here. So we can save all that and program. And that's basically it. It'll just go through that and it's all then programmed. And with all that configured, you can see on the app we've got a 12 volt caravan power. That turns on all of the power to the rest of the van. So that when we're traveling, if we don't want any power throughout the cabin or the galley, I can actually turn it off at the Red Vision unit. From the app we also get the soft buttons, and all we have to do is hit the lights button and we can do that from within the vehicle. So if we pull up somewhere, we can actually turn the lights and the power on for the camper before we even get out of the vehicle, wander down, open the doors, and all the lights are on inside the box, ready to get the stuff out to help set up. So this thing's awesome. Back to this, with the lighting, you can see we've got an amber light here. There's a button on it where we can change to white. And it will remember, so that if we leave it on white or we leave it on amber, if we turn it off at the app and then turn it back on, it'll stay whatever colour we've selected. So it's turned out really well, and it was so simple to wire up. You do look at stuff like this Red Vision and you think, oh God, what am I purchasing? It is so much money. But then when you see it in action, it's like, this is so good. I'm so glad I've spent the money. Now I'm pretty happy with that. It's been a fairly cheap and simple to rig up solution. The Red Vision just nails it with regards to hooking this sort of stuff up and using it, more importantly. Will we need more lighting? Maybe, but let's use the camper first and then we can sit back and go, oh, I wish we had some more lighting here or here. That may well happen, but let's use it and see what happens. We may not. At this point of time, I don't think we will. I still have to put the light on the other side, tidy up my cabling, but I have picked up something new for the channel yesterday and I'm really excited about it. It's a bit left of centre. Yeah, you'll have to stay tuned to see what it is. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Bye now.